trying to escape and run for it. To the end zone, touchdown. And just like that, what a play! Are you kidding me? Breaking free. And I guess that's why they're so afraid of what? Do you believe that?
Download the NFL app today.
You're watching Sunday NFL Countdown presented by Snickers.
Let's go. Traditions. Man, it's good to see them again. Lifelines. Stretched across the league and time. The terrible towels will wave. The muskets will fire.
Patriots!
And once again, it'll be bath time in Buffalo. They set towns and their teams apart and hold them together. And when the traditions were gone, when the line was broken, our grip slipped a little. But now we feel grounded again. So raise the flag. Put your hands together. And then turn to the person next to you and give them a big, how about them Cowboys?
How about those Cowboys?
Because the traditions are back. And so is the bond they form.
More grateful than ever for that. Reminded last year, football so much more than the game on the field. And if it's any indication from the fans already in Buffalo, we might see things crazier than we've ever seen in stadiums around the country today as they're back at full strength. Well, traditions abound in Carolina, but today, a lot of newness. Zach Wilson and Sam Darnold are two of the 12 quarterbacks making their first start with a new team in Week 1. Wilson makes his first career start, and Darnold will debut for the Panthers against his former team. Those 12 QBs are the most ever making their first start with a new team in a single week in NFL history. All right, guys, so let's talk through some of the new guys we're going to see today. Teddy, what do you expect to see from Zach Wilson?
Yeah, let me get Zach Wilson here, Sam, because I am excited about this kid, and I think New York Jet fans could be really excited about him. I think it's a possible offensive rookie of the year. Watching him in the preseason, defenders, I mean, there's just something about him, okay? He's decisive. He's confident in what he does. Corey Davis is out there wanting to prove he's a number one wide receiver. So Zach Wilson, watch out. Jets are on the rise.
Yeah, you're talking rookie of the year. I don't know about that, but let's talk about Trevor Lawrence, first pick overall. Why? Because of leadership, because of poise. And what else? Accuracy, delivers, throws. When guys are open, he's going to hit them. Everything you saw at Clemson is what you saw in the preseason. Will that transfer over to Week 1 in the regular season? It's a good matchup at the Texans. I think Trevor Lawrence is going to have a great year as a rookie.
Well, you talking about preseason, guys. This man has won the job in preseason, being able to be poised in the pocket for the Denver Broncos. Hey, Rex Ryan, this is my favorite. Teddy Two Gloves. You better believe it. Hey, man, he has Judy. He has Sutton. And you got the quarterback's best friend over the middle and Mr. Fant. Hey, man, I like the decision in the Broncos, Fangio, to go with Teddy Two Gloves.
Man, everybody's talking about these quarterbacks they're excited about. You know a quarterback I'm not excited about? How about Andy Dalton? What? What are we doing, Chicago Bears? Put Justin Fields in the game, man. I don't get it. Maybe today, since they're playing the Rams, maybe Andy Dalton is the sacrificial lamb, so to speak. I don't know. Put Justin Fields in there, Chicago.
Oh, stop it, Rex. We're going to have a rebuttal to that later in the show. For now, it's time for Seconds of Schefter. Take it away, Adam.
All right, Sam, how about the Lions left tackle Taylor Decker undergoing finger surgery, out for about a month? And so Penei Sewell, the Lions' first-round draft pick, will move from right tackle to left tackle. And in his first start, he will get none other than Nick Bosa, the 49ers defensive end, coming off the ACL injury. No restrictions. Bosa versus Sewell today. And the Eagles, speaking of left tackles, give Jordan Mailata, who's played only 10 NFL games, a 4-year, $64 million extension worth up to $80 million, Sam. How about those numbers?
Wow, you might want to change positions for your kids out there hearing that information. Now it's time for everybody's favorite part of the show. It's time for a week 1 edition of You Got Mossed. I will say, though, a little bit of a challenge in week 1. Not a lot of games to go off of. Are you up to the challenge, Mr. Moss?
Well, yes, ma'am, I am. But you know, there's one thing. When me and you discuss football, it's one thing that I always like about our discussion.
What's that?
You always make things happen. Let's get this thing
all
started.
right.
Miss Ponder, I got one for you.
Yes, sir.
Let's get it started, man. This is week 1's nominees. Jackson State, son of Deion Sanders, Mr. Primetime. Coach Deion Sanders. Shador Sanders launches it. One to Trevante Rucker from the end zone, ladies and gentlemen. Hey, B.J. Bowler, man, is he up there? Maybe about 15, maybe 1,500 feet up in the air.
Go high point it.
Mr. Bowler, you on the segment. You got Moss, Mr. Brewski.
All right, Texarkana football. Texas High versus Forney. University of Texas commit Derek Brown with a crazy catch right there. Reach over, back of the head, pull it over to the top. Nice catch right here, young man. Defender, you got mossed.
Man, you was in Texas. Well, let me take it to California. Football, Golden Valley versus South High. Golden Valley's Nicholas Abbott.
Oh,
man, Nicholas
don't
Abbott.
let him do
man,
that.
Ain't so, Mr. Nicholas Abbott. You are on our segment, Mr. Nicholas Abbott. Hey, South High, you are on our segment.
There it is.
Why? Because Mr. Nicholas Abbott said so. You got moss. Brew.
Nobody is safe from you got mossed. Okay, Alexander Zverev. Okay, I did the best I could with
wow,
that. Wins his first match at the U.S. Open.
We know that guy.
Solo tennis ball, throws him up there. And Dez Bryant, go ahead, Dez. You still got it. All you spectators, look at Dez. Show him one more time. Throw that tennis ball up there. Dez, everybody in the spectator stands, get out of here. You got mossed.
Boy, I see you, 88. Last but not least, Miss Ponder, I said I have one for you.
I like it already.
Simpson, running some rep. Watch her go up and grab this over the defender. Man, Miss Carolina Simpson, I want to give a shout out to all the female fans of this show and of the National Football League.
Love it.
Hey, buddy, you are on our segment. Miss Carolina Simpson, way to go.
That was awesome. Did he have to do the full roll at the end? The drama in that one was intense. And honestly, we all need to take a breath. We're so excited for week 1 of You Got Mossed. I think we've been screaming at people for the last 30 seconds.
Well,
it's just because we are ready to go, and we know something special about You Got Mossed this year. What's happening?
Well, at the end of Monday night, because Sundays are the nominees, at the end of the Monday night, we always pick the number 1 wide receiver of the week, and they will get this season. Mr. Brewski, you got something to show us. I want y'all to look at these gloves coming to you fresh from me and the crew at ESPN Sunday NFL Countdown. Man, you got moss, Miss Ponder. Somebody getting them for every week.
Yep, that's how you know it's a good segment. We got prizes now. We've really moved up in the world. I know, we are ready to go.
Now.
Let's go back to the games we're going to see today. Let's go to Jacksonville. Davante Adams has made that list a time or two. He's in Jacksonville today facing the Saints in what could be Aaron Rodgers' final season opener for the team that drafted him 16 years ago after a tumultuous offseason. So what's really going on with the Packers drama? We sent Wright Thompson to the place where you find out how the fans really feel. A bar in Green Bay, Wisconsin.
Last week, I was sitting on a stool at Lenny's Tap, this great shot in a beer bar on Green Bay's North Broadway, when the bartender looked up and said, "With that door open, you can feel fall in the air." Thank goodness. It's been a weird summer here. You saw the press conference.
I wanted to help the organization, maybe learn from them some of the mistakes in the past.
Yeah, that's the one.
You know, Green Bay isn't, a huge vacation destination. People are coming here to play with me.
A collision of two powerful forces created this coming season of either fracture or forgiveness. On one hand, you have Aaron Rodgers chasing a rare kind of greatness. And on the other, you have a city and a franchise whose survival depends on its unique parochial mythology. Most folks I talk to are siding with the team and not its star, which is just fascinating. You'd think that a blue-collar town would always be for labor against management, but there you have it. If you, like me, are wondering whether greatness somehow matters less in Green Bay than loyalty, history says that's an absurd question to ask. Lest you forget, this guy broke his contract and left Green Bay for a better job. A local columnist wrote, "It is true that our hero has treated us rather shabbily in the end. It seems to me that Packers fans will never hold on to any fact that gets in the way of the memory they want and need. Brett Favre played for the hated Vikings, which everyone has just agreed to forget. The idea of Aaron in this bar, then, has very little to do with Aaron's idea of himself. He sees himself as a star with free will.
Welcome back to Jeopardy.
But he is always also a vessel for identity and blame. The Packers' embrace of the past obscures just how often beloved pieces of Green Bay disappear. Wally's The Spot Supper Club, a favorite of Vince and Marie Lombardi, closed at the end of July. It's already been torn down. Brandy old-fashioned, ashes to ashes. And yet Green Bay endures, focuses on the good and absolves the past. They wait for fall, the season when myths are made. The first game is here. Lenny's is packed. This anger at Rodgers will vanish if the Packers win this season, and will probably still vanish if they don't. The mythology matters more than hurt feelings.
No doubt about that. Perspective as only Wright Thompson can give it. We welcome Adam back with us now. Adam, you've been following this story obviously all off season. How do you see this thing ending for Aaron Rodgers?
I think the only thing that's changed right now is that Aaron Rodgers is there and playing this season. And essentially, he shifted the control from the Green Bay Packers, who had it before this year, to himself for after this season. If he didn't show up this year, which he considered doing, the Packers would have controlled his rights, had his money, could have gone after his money, would have been messy. He has set it up so that if and when he wants, after this season, he now will have the ability to move on. Now, again, everybody's on the same page this season. There are no issues. They all have the same interests. There's not a lot of confrontation in camp this summer. They want to win the Super Bowl. But it doesn't change the fact that after this season, there continue to be a lot of people who still believe that this situation isn't all that different, except for the fact that he now will be able to dictate how he wants to spend his future.
I tell you, these superstar quarterbacks, they're just exceptional at compartmentalizing everything. And I don't know how they do it, truthfully, because we emotional players, okay, like linebackers and as defensive players, if we don't feel loyalty from certain people, I mean, sometimes you just explode. But I don't know how Aaron Rodgers has done it up to this point. He is going to be able to still have a great year. He is one of the best in the league, if not the best quarterback there. I mean, he just has to control his emotions and realize, I got a job to do for a year, okay? I got a job to do for a year, then I got the control like you're talking about, and that's that power that only you have at the quarterback
And
position.
he knows that. He knows that. But what we've seen, to your point, Teddy, is the NBAization of the NFL at the quarterback position. How many quarterbacks have we seen this summer right now?
Trying to, though, but he was unsuccessful. And if Aaron Rodgers hasn't been able to do it, like, who's going to be able to do it? I would say this, to the compartmentalized thing, because I think a thing that I hear a lot is like, oh, how's Green Bay going to do? How are they going to do with Aaron Rodgers? Aaron Rodgers is upset. Aaron Rodgers has been upset. He's been frustrated. I'll tell you how he's going to do. He was the MVP last year. 48 touchdowns, 5 interceptions. Over the last 3 years, while he's been disgruntled, while he's been frustrated, 99 touchdowns, 11 interceptions. That's ridiculous quarterback play. You could almost make the argument that he plays better angry. Like, he's so mad at something that he's going to bond together with his teammates in a way where they would do anything for him, even with his coaches. Some people think that Aaron Rodgers has this big issue with coaches. When I watch Aaron Rodgers and I'm watching body language with the coaching staff, that is a cohesive unit that they are together. I think Aaron Rodgers is going to have a great year. I think the Packers are going to have a great year, even though I think compartmentalize is the best way to say it. He has put this aside, knowing, just like you said, Adam, knowing that next year is next year, and he may or may not be there. But this is a team that's trying to make a run and finally get over that hump for the Super Bowl.
Let me take you back to when Aaron Rodgers was still in some controversy as the Green Bay quarterback. Y'all remember the word relax? Remember he told the reporter to relax. And ever since that soundbite or that interview, he's been playing lights out. 2 consecutive NFC championships, being able to brew, you started the show out, but bringing a guy that he's familiar with Randall Cobb. This is a big year for the Green Bay Packers. I can't wait to see what type of chip Aaron Rodgers has on his shoulder to bring the Green Bay Packers back to another NFC championship.
This blows me away. The fans do. Like, I'm sorry, but look, Aaron Rodgers has points to be upset at this. At this franchise. And why? Well, you draft Jordan Love. What? You're in a championship game. Remember, I went crazy on that one. I still am, because why in the heck are you doing that? I don't get it. You know, let's go for it right now. You're this close to a Super Bowl and all that. Here's another reason to be upset. Are we kidding ourselves? If it's 4th down again, Aaron Rodgers, I don't care what the coach says. You go for the dang touchdown,
it
man.
It is a unique. You mentioned the fans.
On.
It's a unique organization where the community owns the team.
Right.
And the Packers are bigger than really any name on the back of the jersey. I don't care who you are. Vince Lombardi coached for Washington. Brett Favre went and played for other people. Reggie White went and played somewhere else. It does not matter who you are. Really, I mean, even though you're maybe the greatest player of all time in their organization, it doesn't. The Packers. There are some organizations like that. I would say the Steelers are like that in a way.
Yeah, but
it's more about the community and the organization than it is any one player.
That loyalty word, that's for fans, okay? Because it's going away in the NFL, okay?
Yes.
I only played for one organization my entire career. Yes, that ain't happening, okay? The loyalty is just underrated. It's overrated when it comes to players, all right? I want my control. Where's my contract? All right, if I got to leave, I know how to leave now, okay? If I'm Jalen Ramsey, I know how to leave. If I'm this player, I know how to leave. I know what I got to say. If franchise tag, whatever, I can get my contract. Those type of things, that's what the NFL is now, especially, all right, at this quarterback position where now they have more power than ever before, where they can just dictate and say, 4 years left, amen, now. I don't feel that right now. I can go anywhere I want to go because you don't want the headache that I can cause.
No, but here's the thing, guys. We can kid ourselves. They felt Aaron Rodgers' skills were diminishing. Say it if you want to or not. That's the truth. That's a fact. That's why they drafted this Jordan Love, and anybody that watched it said, "Are you kidding me? Aaron Rodgers is still
and they
amazing."
traded up for that.
But that's it. And how are we mad at Aaron Rodgers? Because you thought his skills were diminishing, and to your point, what's he do? He goes out and wins an MVP.
Yeah.
No, we could say, "Oh no, he didn't." Oh yes, they did. Yeah. They thought his skills were diminishing. That's why he's got a bird in his saddle.
Or do you think it was just having leverage? Like off-season leverage.
They loved Jordan Love. Okay, and basically this offseason, or at the end of this training camp, they asked the front office, the GM, what he thought of how Jordan Love played this summer. And he said, I thought he played fantastic. So I think the front office is preparing to move forward with Jordan Love, and Aaron Rodgers knows what's coming. And we have a situation where, yes, he admitted that he went until last year thinking that would be his last year in Green Bay. And I think deep down inside, if you asked him again, he was being perfectly honest, he would probably think, this is my last year in Green Bay now, but I'm just not going to talk about that because we're here to win and try to get to a Super Bowl.
And that's the point. The point is that he set the expectations so high that in defense of the fans, their issue is, yes, they know Aaron Rodgers is very good. They want to win the Super Bowl. And they've been so close these last 2 years. But remember, they've lost 4 straight NFC championship games since winning a Super Bowl. It's Super Bowl or bust for this Packers team. We'll get to more on the Saints later in the show. A big debut for Jameis Winston in Jacksonville, of course, with them not being able to be in the Superdome. This guy has a big debut today, too. Zach Wilson gets his first start for the New York Jets on the road against the Panthers. A huge one for Zach Wilson and Robert Saleh. Still to come on Countdown, before Patrick Mahomes takes on Myles Garrett, he goes all access with his former teammate Alex Smith. Find out what he learned when they watched the Browns playoff game together. And as all teams across the league honor the 20-year anniversary of September 11th today, find out why New York's new head coach was forever changed that awful day.
9/11 is the reason why I left the banking world to pursue coaching.
So, if you have a flat tyre, dead battery, need a tow or lock your keys in the car, Geico's emergency roadside assistance is there 24/7. Oh dear, I got a flat tyre. Yeah, can you find a take where it's a bit more dramatic on that last line, yeah? Yeah, I got it right here.
Someone help me! I have a flat tire!
Well, it's good for me. What do you think?
Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
The new crispy chicken sandwich taco from Taco Bell. Is it a sandwich or a taco? Which side are you on? Try it with special pricing on the app.
You know Miller Lite only has one more calorie, right?
Good choice.
It's time to hit refresh, to be buttoned up, to feel your best and look it by using Just for Men shampoo and hair color to eliminate gray in 5 easy minutes. It's time to look forward. Just for Men shampoo in color.
Let's go!
Let's go, Beachbody. Bring that knee. It's not about a size. It's a feeling. Are you in? Everybody is a Beachbody.
Dish makes TV easy. Prime Video, it's easy.
And then click Prime Video.
The app is now right there with all your live TV.
You've got this.
We've got this. They got this. Dish, streaming and live TV all in one place.
In the Romo household,
we take things to the max. Oh, yeah. Honey, you still in bed?
Yep. Bye!
That's why we love Skechers Max Cushioning Footwear. They've maxed out the cushion for extreme comfort.
It's like walking on clouds.
Big, comfy ones. Oh, yeah.
Even at home, we explored all kinds of places, like Couch Cove. Book an American Airlines flight on AA.com using your MasterCard so you can plan your next adventure and start something priceless.
I don't hydrate like everyone else. Because I'm not everyone else. They drink what they're told to drink. I drink what helps me rehydrate and recover. Pedialyte Sport, because it works. And so do I. Hydration beyond the hype.
Today, you have to deal with a lot of moving parts. You want everything to be on autopilot.
I got a huge increase in orders, but it's nothing
And to be prepared if anything changes.
I'll be right in.
With IBM, you can do both. Your business can bring data together across your clouds, from suppliers to shippers to the factory floor. So whatever comes your way, the wheels keep moving, seamlessly modernizing your operations. That's why so many businesses work with IBM.
Nice work, everyone.
Subway has so much new, it didn't fit in that last ad. Like the new deli-style oven-roasted turkey and new hickory smoked bacon. It's the Eat Fresh, Refresh at Subway. It's so much new, we don't even have time for this guy.
But I'm Tom Brady.
Oh, and there's smashed avocado, too.
We are not here on this planet to close our eyes to the world.
We are here to go out and experience its many wonders.
Because through our experiences,
we become bigger than ourselves.
Travel has the power to shape our world.
And make us whole again.
With 30 hotel brands and endless experiences, where can we take you?
The Subway series is
Big Brother, Little Brother.
It's exciting.
It's not a game, it's life.
Amazing, amazing.
I live for this rivalry.
All of New York is in one stadium.
This is all that matters now.
It's absolute bragging rights.
Give us.
Give us.
Give us.
Give us.
Give us the Subway series.
This is what it's all about.
Let's go Mets, baby! Let's go Yankees!
This is the battle for New York.
On Sunday Night Baseball.
Tonight at 8 on ESPN.
Clubs across the league honoring those lost on September 11th, 20 years ago. You'll see things like this, a fire truck in Indy celebrating our first responders who will be at the games today. We have special pins that will be worn on the sidelines by coaches and team personnel, along with media. Special NYPD, FDNY, and Port Authority Police Department hats will be worn as we commemorate all those who sacrificed so much 20 years ago. It's an emotional day for every American, but especially for longtime New Yorkers, people who remember the horror of that day like it was yesterday, people who were places like where we're standing right now, at South Street Seaport, just 1 mile from Ground Zero and the Freedom Tower. I'm back with Adam Schefter now. Adam, I feel like every American feels some sense of connection to this day, but for you, it is incredibly personal. You wrote about the story of your amazing wife, Sherry, who was a 9/11 widow, in your memoir, The Man I Never Met. So you understand as much as anybody the impact of this day, even 20 years later.
Well, Sim, there are so many stories that came out of this day both tragic and inspirational. And one of those stories belongs to the new head coach of the New York Jets, Robert Saleh. And his story is about the bond between two brothers. One brother moved to New York days before 9/11, and the other brother moved there 20 years later.
Football, it runs deep. I've got a long lineage of family that has played football, and it started with my father way back in the early 60s. There was always a Saleh on our high school football team. Football is life back in Little Dearborn, Michigan.
Football and family always have defined Robert Saleh's journey. Like his older brother David, Robert played football at Fortson High School just outside Detroit. In a predominantly Middle Eastern town, the Muslim Brothers of Lebanese descent took pride in being a part of one of the state's top 5 winningest football programs.
The high school I went to, it's over 90% Middle Eastern. There's a perception that we're gas station and party store owners. And my brother's generation and my generation, it's doctors, it's lawyers, it's accountants.
In 2001, after starting at tight end, Robert graduated from Northern Michigan. He left football behind and went back to his hometown to take a job as a loan applications officer. What made you go into the banking business?
My family's background is business and real estate, and I applied and had a couple of connections, and I got in.
Meanwhile, Robert's brother David started his new job with investment banking firm Morgan Stanley. His office was in New York City, in the South Tower of the World Trade Center. His second day on the job was September 11th, 2001.
This just into our newsroom, a plane has crashed into the World Trade Center.
I remember it vividly. I walk into the house, going through the garage, making a left-hand turn into the TV room, and my mom and dad are just pale-faced. My mom's crying. My dad says the tower got hit by a plane. That's when I found out my brother was in the tower. The second tower gets hit, and my mom loses it. It's your older brother. He was there to wake me up at 2 a.m. Every morning to feed me peanut butter and jelly sandwiches to make sure I gained weight in high school so I can be ready for football season. He took me to the weight room, and he was just a tremendous part of my life. There was a lot of hope. There was a lot of praying to God that he'd make it, that he was out safe, that he was trying to find a phone, and that he'd call us at any moment. It was a very long day. I think about my mom, you know. It was hard for her. We went all the way through, God, I want to say 3 or 4 o'clock in the afternoon before we finally heard from my brother.
I was on the 61st floor. A fireball just came firing across, and I heard a loud thump, like a woof. So I ran, grabbed my things, and took the stairwell. On the 40th floor, a gentleman came on the intercom and said we can all go back to our offices. And there were some people that actually did make a U-turn. And you know, I just kept going down. Well, 24th floor is when the plane came through our towers. You would see stress cracks. The building was swaying. The 11th floor, that's when I seen firefighters running up. The one that I remember the most, he looked like a kid, and he was as white as a t-shirt, and it scared the hell out of me. I called the house, and my dad answered, and he said, "Oh, you're okay." I heard my mom's voice, assuming I was dead, which is terrifying. I hope nobody ever gets to hear that.
After the unimaginable events of 9/11, Robert reflected on his life and where it was going. And 5 months later, as he watched Super Bowl 36, the game reminded Robert about our country's resilience.
We are all patriots, and tonight the Patriots are world champions.
And provided the 23-year-old, still working as a financial analyst, with a moment of clarity.
The day after the Super Bowl, he called me up profusely crying. And he tells me that he can't do this and that he had to be on the football field. You know, I asked him a question. I said, well, what are you going to do about it?
I drove to my high school coach's office. He got me in connection with Mike Vollmer, Director of Football Operations at Michigan State. I went up to Bobby Williams. I said, Coach, it'd be a real help if you gave me that GA job. And he gave it to me.
Over the next 20 years, Saleh gained knowledge and experience, recognition and praise. And in January, he made history, becoming the NFL's first Arab American and Muslim head coach. You ever stop and think that 9/11 led you to make that decision in the end?
Every day. 9/11 is the reason why I left the banking world to pursue coaching. Because without it, I wouldn't have self-reflected. And the self-reflection was that I wasn't where I wanted to be.
I can't tell you enough about how excited I am to work with this entire Jets organization.
Atta boy, good running, good running.
19 years after you made that decision, how did it feel when you were finally named the head coach of the New York Jets?
My wife, my 7 kids, FaceTime call from my brother, who was crying.
He had his kids. They were all in Jets shirts. He started chanting Jets, 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 Jets. It's great, great.
I see that makes you emotional.
From my brother, yeah.
How come?
He's part of this. So.
In what way?
Every way.
To think that my experience in the World Trade Centers in New York, you know, sparked something in him to chase this dream, and 20 years later to become the 20th head coach of the New York Jets. To me, it's like destiny.
Wow, Adam. I mean, I think we're all looking for silver linings these days. And what a lesson from Coach Saleh, that you get one life to live. So you make it count when you can. Such an incredible piece. I'm just wondering, from the time that you spent with him, what else did you take away?
Well, if 9/11 doesn't happen, he doesn't go into coaching. And if he doesn't go into coaching, he doesn't become the 20th head coach of the New York Jets on the weekend of the 20th anniversary of 9/11. And now he gets to make his head coaching debut in Carolina, going up against the quarterback that the New York Jets traded away during the offseason, Sam Darnold. This will be a day that Robert Saleh always remembers.
No doubt about that. And I can guarantee he has a lot of fans that aren't even necessarily New York Jets fans cheering for him today. Thanks, Adam.
Thank you, Sam.
A lot of new experiences for Robert Saleh, but something familiar in his regular season Jets debut. Still doing what he did all those years as coordinator in San Francisco, running the stadium stairs at Bank of America Stadium. Get rid of maybe
I remember
some of
that
those
look, Sam.
Pre-game nerves. Yes, I'm sure. Just getting ready for a big one against Sam Darnold today in Carolina. Still to come on Countdown, before Matthew Stafford makes his Rams debut against Khalil Mack and the Bears. Find out how he and Sean McVay made the blockbuster trade come together.
Things accelerated faster than any of us could have anticipated.
I wanted the best for both of us, and I felt at that point the best thing for both of us was to seek a trade.
I don't know about you, but I feel good.
Matt, I think I got my fantasy nights mixed up. Hey, Bill.
Hey, Matt.
Yeah, I'm gonna go.
You sure?
Yeah.
Snickers satisfies.
So if I was a singer-songwriter, just about to make it big, I could still get the Rogers rates?
Yep. State Farm has rates to fit any budget.
That's awesome, man. You want to play drums?
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. Call or click to get a quote today.
Why pay over $100 a month for cable when it's half the cost for Fubo TV? Get all the channels you want, with all the entertainment you love, for the price that cable can't beat. Try free at FuboTV.com.
Hey, Lily, I need a new wireless plan for my business, but all of my employees need something different.
Oh, we can help with that. Okay,
Imagine this, your mover, Rob. He's on the scene and needs a plan with a mobile hotspot. We cut to downtown. Your sales rep, Lisa, has to send some files. Like ASAP!
So basically, I can pick the right plan for each employee.
Yeah, I should have just led with that.
With AT&T Business, you can pick the best plan for each employee and get the best deals on every smartphone.
Pumpkin lovers, there's a whole new spin on pumpkin to love at Dunkin'. With our new Pumpkin Cream Cold Brew, topped with velvety pumpkin cream cold foam, or a pumpkin spice signature latte. Enjoy a medium for $3. That's how we pumpkin at Dunkin'. America runs on Dunkin'.
Didn't know what time it was, the lights were low, oh, oh. I leaned back on my radio, oh, oh. There's a starman waiting.
It's right in front of you. Bleu de Chanel, le parfum. At Macy's, the fragrance destination.
Poison ivy.
If you love that chicken from Popeyes, you'll love our nuggets. They're crispy, juicy, and packed with our signature home-style Louisiana flavor. Try an 8-piece today for $3.99.
Love that chicken from Popeyes.
Are you using Liberty Mutual's coverage customizer tool? So you only pay for what you need. Sorry? Literally, you're an animal!
Only pay for what you need.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
Why spend all your money on just one part at the typical auto parts store, when at rockauto.com you can get all the parts you need with money left over to buy lunch? Go to rockauto.com.
All the parts you cover.
Space.
I was like,
Meditation? But it only takes a few minutes to start feeling better.
sleeping better. I can sit still.
Be kinder to myself.
And find joy. Joy.
Joy. In the simplest things.
All I needed
Was a better,
happier,
healthier,
Really good
headspace.
Find some headspace at headspace.com.
It was always important for me to finish my degree, to advance my career and to be an example for my kids, but I couldn't give up my daily life in order to do it. LA Pacific was the best option for me because it's 100% online and I could do the work whenever and wherever I could fit it in. Reaching that goal was one of the best feelings of my life. I wouldn't trade it for anything. It was all worth it.
This week on NFL Prime Time, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, Lamb, Mahomes, Hill, Mimi, KJ, Green Eggs, and Hamler. And look, the Radio
Rockettes?
City Rockettes, he could go all the way. Catch this week's NFL Primetime, streaming exclusively on ESPN+.
You're watching Sunday NFL Countdown, presented by Snickers.
Fans are fired up in Buffalo. You know, the last time I saw fans this fired up in Buffalo, our Diana Rossini was there. People were handing her Jell-O shots. I don't know if you guys remember this. Things have changed for Diana, and they changed quickly. Let's say hello to her new addition, just 36 days old. Michael Andrew Goldschmidt could not be cuter. Looks like Mom. Diana, we miss you. Congratulations. I would say hurry back, but don't hurry back. You hang out with that little guy. Yes, everybody say hi. Hi. She always gets on these guys for not saying hi. They will never forget. All right, let's head out to LA now. An off-season of change for both the Bears and the Rams, both coming off disappointing seasons last year. They'll face off at SoFi Stadium tonight. For all the debate about the QBs in Chicago, it's pretty clear in LA. They got their guy.
Oh, Matthew took it home. Matthew Stafford magic. There's a moment in your arms when the fire takes over.
I play this game to try and win Super Bowls. I wanted the best for both of us, and I felt at that point the best thing for both of us was to seek a trade. It was a really tough thing for me.
Once it became known publicly that we were interested, things accelerated faster than any of us could have anticipated.
I think flying down to Cabo had absolutely no clue where I was going to be, and flying out of Cabo, all those things were answered. Sean was sitting not too far over there. He was close by. Just got a chance to say hey to him.
We were able to kind of just organically connect and spend a little bit of time together. Just to be able to talk ball, you could really get a feel for who he is as a guy.
I play this game to try and win Super Bowls. That's what I want to do. I would love to have the opportunity to play in that game as many times as I possibly can from here on out.
Matthew Stafford makes his Rams debut tonight after playing his first 12 seasons for the Lions, of course, and his 282 career touchdown passes are 16th in NFL history and the most by a QB without a playoff win. Andy Dalton will make his first start for the Bears after signing a one-year deal that pays him $10 million this season. Chicago traded up for Justin Fields in this year's draft, and he'll begin the season as the backup. Our Lindsay theory is all over it in Inglewood. I know you've got more on this quarterback situation and how this is playing out today. Good morning, Lindsay.
Good morning, Sam. Bears coach Matt Nagy has made very clear Andy Dalton is the starter, but that has not stopped the Rams from preparing for the rookie Justin Fields. Rams coach Sean McVay saying it would be naive of us not to prepare for them to utilize him in some form or fashion. The athleticism that he has is a great threat. As for Rams quarterback Matthew Stafford, he's expected tonight to reignite an offense that's declined the past 2 seasons. Stafford telling me that he expects the offense to be physical, tough, efficient, and explosive. Rams receiver Cooper Kupp tells me that Stafford's pretty much mastered the playbook and that he's excited for all 5 eligibles on every play because of Stafford's command and understanding of what he sees on the field. Sam?
Thanks, Lindsay. Matt, this is a difficult situation, I think, in some ways, because I think the assumption is that when you have this level of excitement about Matthew Stafford, the old guy must have been bad, right? No, wrong. Jared Goff did a really good job for the Rams. He leaves. Stafford comes in. What real difference do you think we'll see in this offense
Well, I
today?
think you heard it right there with Lindsay Theory and what Cooper Kupp said. All 5 eligible. So what was Jared Goff exceptional at? Under center, play action pass, hard run action. What is Matthew Stafford exceptional at? Top 5 in the NFL.
Gunslinger.
Empty formation, shotgun. You know we're throwing in situations, third down. It's little subtle things that you may not even notice when you watch a game. I promise you, quarterbacks and quarterback gurus, they notice it. Here we go. It's a 3-over-2. That little subtle pump fake just gets the safety in the corner to drop their weight, get flat-footed, and then he makes it a very simple throw. You might not even notice it, okay? Like I said, when you're watching the game, you might not notice it. Quarterbacks notice it, okay? DBs notice it. I promise you, Sean McVay from Cabo noticed it. Starts salivating.
I can see it.
He's like, wait a second, that's what I need. So I don't think Jared Goff played bad. I just think that this is something where McVay wants to take this offense, shotgun, empty formation, and this is a guy who's top 4. Mentioned in empty formation. Last year, he was 4th best in the NFL in QBR. Last 2 years, 4th best. Jared Goff, 24th in the NFL. So it just wasn't necessarily the skill set that Sean McVay is trying to take it to.
Yeah, Jared Goff did well, but it wasn't good enough. It wasn't good enough for Sean McVay. And what he did with all of this, trading away all the draft picks, trading away Jared Goff, in my opinion, he traded away all his excuses. Ooh. Because now you got your guy, right? Handpicked, you're giving up multiple number 1s. All of a sudden, I can do the things that Hasselbeck is showing right there. I can do empty. I feel free that I can just spread the whole field. And finally, I got my guy. Okay. All right, let's see what you can do now with it, because now you're going to see if Sean McVay can coach, because he got his hand-picked quarterback. His excuses are gone. I'm excited to see it. Believe me, I think Stafford's a great player. I'm excited to see it, but McVay, don't give me any more excuses.
You know, quickly, let me say this about the L.A. Rams offense. Watching Matthew Stafford in Detroit for so long, he has never been in the offense, Matt. You made a great point, whereas been able to open up 4 or 5 wide receivers. And I will give Cooper Kupp waiting for a big year from you. But let me switch it over to the other side of the Chicago Bears. I've been very critical of this decision, even in the preseason, with putting a guy like Andy Dalton in. And no disrespect to Andy Dalton, but you hear me time and time time again, week in and week out, I'm going to say it, quarterbacks being able to steal yards with these new millennium quarterbacks. And I really think you moved up in the draft to get a guy like Justin Fields. Why isn't he playing? So I will agree with Lindsey Theory talking about McVay and the Rams being able to prepare for both quarterbacks. But if you ask me what quarterback gives them the best chance to win, the way the game is changing is Justin Fields, because that means that all 11 guys, they got to follow him all over the field, and maybe you can win Aaron Donald out.
Yeah, but isn't that crazy? Like, you get a head coach specifically, he's already saying that, hey, look, we're preparing for the backup quarterback. Why? Because Sean McVay knows he's the better quarterback. Look, Andy Dalton, you mentioned, Andy Dalton's an adequate quarterback. There's no question. Nobody's saying he's not an adequate quarterback. Yet Justin Fields can be special. And that's why when you look at it as a Chicago Bear fan, everybody can't wait to see this young man. Why? Because he has that skill set you talk about. That's what is so interesting to me. We'll see how Andy Dalton will throw for 500 yards a day and win the game. Good for him, Andy.
Quickly.
But you know what?
He's going to get.
Andy Dalton's never won a playoff game. Now, the Chicago Bears, Matt Nagy's taken this team to the playoffs. All right? I believe he's got one win. Bear fans want a Super Bowl. Why? Because they have a Super Bowl caliber defense, they believe. So now the clock is running
for his life with that offensive line.
They're running
you want Justin Fields Andy Dalton's going to buy time for Justin Fields, and he needs it, okay? Put him out there with that offensive line, and you're going to see how much of an athlete he is. He'll be running all over the place because the rushers will be on him all day long.
I just don't get – Matt Nagy's seeing him every day. Don't you think he wants to win? Don't you think this tells you that he must not be ready? Because there's no way. You said Andy Dalton hasn't won a playoff game. Well, maybe he's thinking today's not a playoff game. So we can win with Andy Dalton right now.
You saw how
and
it was
get
done
him
with
ready.
Mahomes too, Sam. I'm telling you, he's thinking that way also.
Yes, and that also buys him another year. Hey, look, we have a plan. We're going to get through the year. If this kid doesn't play like early in the season, then his thing is we're going to ride it out. Yes, we know what we have here. Okay. And that buys him another year as a coach. Tell me this
quickly. Is preseason an evaluation period for teams? Well, I think that Justin Fields put on a show because the airwaves lit up by all the Chicago Bears fans on his performance in the preseason. Sorry about that.
No worries. They've got questions on offense. They also have questions on defense. Eddie Jackson, Khalil Mack, and Robert Quinn all questionable in this game today. So that's something to pay attention to. We should also pay attention to our standings in game picks, hoping them somewhere towards the top. Who do we think is up top from last year? Where are we at? Any guesses?
Are we living in the past?
Man.
We are living in the past, at least for this week.
With your chest.
Oh, Randy Moss.
With your chest. 67-41. That's me, Miss Ponder.
All right, it's a new year. I think we should wipe that slate clean and start with the Chargers and Washington. You gonna be okay, Rex?
I gave my championship belt up. Why in the world would I bet against Tom Brady in the Super Bowl?
Let's move on. It's a new year. Let's be excited. Los Angeles at Washington. Washington favored by just a little bit. Randy, what do you think about this?
Well, I think the L.A. Chargers are doing some things up front for young Justin Herbert, but I look at the Washington football team up front. Not Chase Young, but I'm talking about a guy that you don't hear about. Montez Sweat. Watch out for his name. He's going after the quarterback with this new vamp L.A. Chargers offensive line.
Yeah, Montez Sweat is an amazing player. And how about those Alabama guys, those defensive tackles? There's a backup named Ioannidis that nobody talks about. He's going to check out this new offensive line of the Chargers they seem to be so proud of. You know, the Chargers coming off of 4 straight wins. They fired their coach. I don't get it. We're going to find out today what they're all about. Give me Washington.
Yeah, I'm going with the football team. Eckler being active is going to help the Los Angeles Chargers, but I'm going to hold off on my judgments on the offensive line till next week, because this week I think they're going to have problems. I'm going with the football team.
Yeah, listen, I'm taking Washington as well. The D-line's amazing, so we talk about that all the time. Ryan Fitzpatrick is going to fit really nicely in this offense, okay? Yes. And Terry McLaurin's the wide receiver that he's going to be looking for most of the time. They call him Scary Terry. I call him a 2-time captain for this Washington team. He's a baller. Listen, Antonio Gibson is going to run the ball, but in the passing game, it's going to be Fitzy. I think it's going to be Fitzmagic and not, like Rex likes to say, Fitztragic. I think Washington will have a good year starts today.
Well, this guarantees that the Chargers are going to win the game. But after hearing Alex Smith earlier say that Washington is the class of the NFC East, I'm going Washington too. Look, they're healthy coming into this game. Fitz is playing the best ball of his career, believe it or not. I'm all in on Washington. Let's get to the Seahawks and the Colts. This is a big one in Indy for Carson Wentz. Randy, what do you think?
Everything that was going on this offseason for them, two of their key guys went down. You call him the best offensive lineman in football. Mr. Nelson, he's back. They have a very underrated running game in Indianapolis. You give me the Indianapolis coach at home.
Hey, all I know is Frank Wright and Wentz was pretty good combination in Philadelphia. We'll see how it is in Indy, but I'm going to take the Colts just because of DeForest Buckner and the heck that he raises inside there. He's going to allow him to play cover 2 all day against Russell Wilson, against those great receivers. Give me the Colts.
I'm just seeing a lot of bad football of past Carson Wentz. That's all I'm seeing. That's all I remember. I mean, him holding the ball. He's going to have to make a major change like you're talking about, Hasselbeck. I just don't think it's going to happen. I'm going to go with the Seahawks to take this one.
Yeah, I'm going to take the Seahawks as well. And I think Carson Wentz is probably the biggest mystery going into this year. I feel like here's a guy that he could literally be an MVP candidate, and he could also be the guy that leads the league in interceptions and turnovers again.
So that's a broad spectrum.
It really is.
Yeah.
And that's why I think it's the biggest mystery. And I do believe that Frank Reich is the guy to get him right, and this is the team to get him right. But right now, you talk about Russell Wilson, a proven commodity that's balling out right now, that has weapons. I'll take the Seahawks today.
Yeah, and they're just so good on the road, especially in the Eastern time zone. 12-1 in the last 3 seasons when the Seahawks hit the road. I'm also taking the Hawks. I think this is a big year for them. They're kind of under the radar. Their division's really tough, but I think they get a win with a confident Russell Wilson on the road against Carson Wentz today. All right, time now to get to Morton Adam for some actives and inactives. Guys, what do we need to know?
Thanks, Sam. Well, Quentin Nelson, the all-pro guard for the Indianapolis Colts, was actually more of a concern than Carson Wentz this week, not just because he also had foot surgery at the same time Wentz did, but he has been suffering from back issues. But he is good to go. He's active. He will start. And this is a man who has taken every snap since he was a first-round pick, the 6th overall in 2018. And it's one reason why Carson Wentz is a lot more comfortable going into today's game.
And more, despite a hamstring injury that was considered minor this past week, Austin Eckler is expected to go. He texted me this week that it was more precautionary than anything else. Wasn't real severe, and that's evident in the fact that he is expected to be active today versus Washington and have a full regular workload against the Washington football team. Meanwhile, there are some notable players returning today. Joe Burrow will be in the lineup. Christian McCaffrey, Saquon Barkley, Derwin James, Nick Bosa, Chandler Jones. The one we don't know for sure is Odell Beckham Jr. He looked really good in practice last week, but he didn't take full reps, still hasn't had any contact this summer, and the Browns want to see how he feels before the game, before they give him the green light. Obviously trending in that direction, but no decisions yet. And we should also add more 2 inactives that just came in. The 49ers deactivated their rookie 3rd-round draft pick running back Trey Sermon, and the Bills' Zach Moss, running back, also inactive today, Sam.
Good to know, guys. Good to see some of those stars back that we were missing from last year. Will be fun to watch today. A big game in Detroit. We were talking about Matthew Stafford so much. This guy's got a big chance to prove himself with a team that Matthew Stafford just left. Jared Goff, his debut against Jimmy G and the 49ers at Ford Field.
Wake up. Wake up.
This is Sunday.
NFL Countdown.
Coming up, before Patrick Mahomes faces off against Baker Mayfield, the KC QB goes one-on-one with his former teammate Alex Smith to reveal his Super Bowl regret.
And I feel like as a whole team, really, especially as offense, we started pressing. We started trying to do stuff that we had never done before.
Plus, why Josh Allen is expecting some extra physicality from TJ Watt and the Steelers.
Boxing matches, taking a couple hits here or there, giving them out. It's going to be a slugfest. We don't expect it to be anything else.
And before 2 Bama QBs face off in Mac Jones' debut, Nick Saban shares the secrets to his former QB success.
Very competitive guy, being accurate with the ball, which I think are very important, and being a good quarterback.
All that and more coming up.
Wake up! Wake up. This is Sunday NFL Countdown.
You're watching Sunday NFL Countdown, presented by Snickers.
You can finally buy that solid gold rocket ship.
Whoa. Do we have a rocket ship license?
We have 6 players going, which means our probability of being passed is 92%.
$500,000? We could buy a regular rocket ship!
No more rocket ships.
Feel the NFL action like never before.
Download the DraftKings Daily Fantasy app and get a free shot at $1 million.
Today, things can be pretty unexpected. But your customers, they still expect things to be simple, and they want it all personalized.
Hey, Jamie!
With IBM, you can do both. Businesses like insurers can automate IT processes across clouds so agents can spend more time on customer needs. And whatever comes your way, you've got it covered, saving time and improving customer service. That's why so many businesses work
Thanks for the orange.
with IBM.
Hi, cutie.